Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Muni Rajassa Sunantu Sagga Mukhadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Labho alabho ayaso yasocha Ninda pasangsacha sukhangcha dukkhanti. Past devotees of the Dhamma, dear friends, dear children, today in this Dhamma sermon, I am going to explain you about Atha Loka Dhamma or 8 world orders. Some call them 8 world phenomena too. Atha Loka Dhamma, the 8 kinds of nature that fall or that arise when one lives in the world. The world is not something that provides us everything what we like. Sometimes when we live, we also face unintended incidents, unexpected good and bad things. We also may need to associate good and bad people, those who have good intentions and bad intentions. When we need to eat something, sometimes we get a delicious meal, sometimes not. Some people are there in the world who suffer a lot due to the lack of food, due to the lack of medicine, due to the lack of lodgings, and so on. There are people who get easily sick. There are people who are healthy. There are people who always live with suffering. There are people who enjoy comforts. When we consider our own lives, from the point that we begin the day up to the point that we end the day, we face many kinds of good and bad things. This is the world, this is the nature. Some people do not understand this thing. Therefore, they think they are the most unfortunate people in the world, but it is completely wrong. You are born as a human being because you are lucky. Otherwise, you might have been born as an animal or a ghost, or as a yakka or whoever else, or in the hell. But you are not born there in this time. You have been fortunate. In order to make the future fortunate, more fortunate. You have to consider some kinds of things like the moral codes, discipline, meditation, practicing the path taught by the Lord Buddha. Be a kind person, be a virtuous person, do the good thing, speak good words, think in a good manner, good way. When you do so, you are accumulating so many good karmas, punya, merits. As the result, you can be born in the human world or in the heaven. That is the way to make your future fortunate. Therefore, from the bad things that we face time to time, you can't consider about your life. Buddha has taught us this Atta Loka Dhamma, 8 worldly nature, 8 world phenomena, or the 8 world orders, for us to understand how the reality of the world is, what the nature of the world is. These 8 world natures are alabho, labho, loss and gain, ayaso, yaso, obscurity and fame, ninda, pasangsa, blame and praise, sukhang, dukkhang, happiness and suffering. 4 things are negative, 4 things are positive. We may like only to receive the good things in the life, but the life is a mixture of all these kinds of 8 things. It's a mixture. All these 8 things come time to time towards us. When we wake up early in the morning, when we see outside from the window, we may see a beautiful scenery. We may also see sometimes an ugly thing. So we can't predict earlier, may I see only a good scene? May I see only beautiful people? May I see only nice things? No, you can't wish. Sometimes we may see also the bad things. We get a telephone call. We expect, may we hear a good news. Sometimes we may also hear a bad news. So we can't expect it. It is the nature of the world. When we sit to eat something, we wish, may we get delicious food. Sometimes we may not get delicious food. If someone gets angry about having bad food, it is his or her own foolishness, because it is the nature. Sometimes we get good food, sometimes we do not. We wish always, may we be healthy every time. But sometimes we get pain here and there on the body. Sometimes we feel unfit, we feel uncomfortable, we feel sick. Why? It is the nature of the body. The body can't be always healthy. It has the nature of being ill. That is why we face these kinds of difficulties on the body. So that is how it is. And when we go to the street, we wish, may we meet a good friend today. Sometimes not. Our enemies come towards us. They threaten us sometimes. They tell us harsh words, bad words. They are going to make us angry. They are going to do any kind of harm to us. So if we get angry, it is our own foolishness. Why? It is the world nature. The people have different intentions, different ideas, different thoughts. Nanatta kaya, nanatta sanya. Different people, different perfections, different intentions, different ideas. That is how it is. Perceptions, different perceptions. So nanatta sanya. Many people think in different ways. That is why we can't take a group of people in the same way, in the same manner. It is difficult. This and that person does different kinds of things. A teacher in the classroom tries to teach some new lesson to every children in the same way. He or she wishes, may all these children learn this well, learn this properly, listen to my lecture properly. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Even you watch this Dhamma sermon on television right now, you may have looked around. You may have thought of many different things. You may have gone somewhere else in the mind. It is called nanatta sanya. You have different kinds of thoughts. So you hang on different places. So if I expect, may all my listeners listen to my sermon carefully, it does not happen. If I get angry that you do not listen to my sermon carefully, no, it is useless. It is my foolishness. Even we ourselves cannot control cannot control ourselves. Can you control yourself? No, it is difficult. The body does what it needs, the mind does what it needs. That is how it is, isn't it? So we sit to meditate. Can we concentrate our minds as we wish? Every person who sits for meditation like to concentrate easily within 10 minutes. No, it does not happen. It is a very difficult task to concentrate the mind. Why? During the day, we have seen many things, we have heard many things, we have thought many things, we have gone to different places, have got different experiences. So all these things are in the mind now. So the mind is now going to research about these things, going to rethink about these things, rearrange these things. So it needs time. It needs time to settle. It needs time to be still, calm. Therefore, let it do its work. On meditation, many people forcefully try to calm down their minds. No, the mind doesn't listen to you. It does its duty, it goes on its way. The more you try to calm it down sometimes, the more it goes away. So it doesn't let you calm down. Therefore, just be relaxed. Just give the things up. Just observe what happens. Then you can see how the mind plays the game. So, when the mind understands, okay, this person have known me, then slowly it comes to a point of stillness. So that is how it has to be done. But the people need to concentrate quickly. It doesn't happen. So if we think wisely, we can, even though we can't control the things from outside, we can still do not pollute our mind. We can still be calm and quiet without letting the mind fight with others or other things. So always we try to reject what we do not wish. So when the illnesses come, we try to reject them. When an enemy comes, we try to reject him or her. When someone speaks with bad words to us, we try to escape. All the time, we do not like to be with the unpleasant things. Therefore, we try to reject them. The more we try to reject them, the mind tends to fight with them, struggle with them. Then you can't do any good thing in your mind. That means you do not come to the point what you wish, what you like, because there is a big fight in the mind, there is a big struggle in the mind. So we have to understand this thing. Therefore, try to accept badness, try to accept unpleasant things in the way of the nature. You see, the earth, what the earth does, people throw out all the kinds of bad stuff on the earth. Some people like to grow trees and do the good things for the earth. Earth does not think this person does good thing to me, this person does bad thing to me. So we also need to be like the earth. So this is an example given by Buddha in a certain discourse. Be like the nature. Take the best example from the nature. So be like the earth. Do not change your attitudes. Do not change your way of thinking due to the good and bad experiences you get. Try to be in the middle. It is not easy to be in the middle. People bend here or there. So when we get good things. Like in the case of this 8 worldly nature, when people have gain, when people get the things, they are happy. When people get fame, they are very happy. I'm a famous person, everyone fames, everyone gives fame to me, so they are very happy. When they are praised, they are very happy. I am a blessed person, they think. And when they are in happy mood, they think I am the best person in the world, most fortunate person in the world. So when people tend towards these positive things, in the same way, when they get the bad things, they are unhappy. They are unhappy. So when they lose something, it could be their property or whatever, then they are very unhappy. Quickly, the happy status of the mind goes away. And when they have obscurity, then they are unhappy. When they are blamed, they get angry. They do not find why someone has blamed me. Instead, they get angry with the people who blame at him or her. But it is not the wise solution for it. And when they get suffered, when they are getting suffering, then also they are very unhappy. In that point, they think that I am the most unfortunate people in the world. Sometimes you might also have thought in the same way at least once in your life. Why all these things happen to me? Only to me, only to me. No, it is not only to you. All the people in this world, regardless how many they are, all the people time to time have to face these kinds of things. Even the kings, the presidents, the princes, all the people have to suffer in life. So if you think you are the unfortunate person and that president or that king is the fortunate person, you can compare. You get stomachache. Does the king or queen or the prince or the president not get a stomachache? No, they also. They get more stomachache as you than you. Because they are invited always for the parties or for dinner outs or whatever, to have food from outside. Then they get more stomach aches than you in your house. So you are more fortunate in that case. And you think the other people blame at me. But if you consider, according to your own vision, the most fortunate person in the world, can you nominate someone and consider or compare it with that person? Is that person not be blamed? No, that person is also be blamed. Buddha once has explained, there are people who do not speak. There are people who speak moderately. There are people who speak a lot. The person who does not speak is also blamed. The person who speaks moderately is also being blamed by others. The person who speaks a lot is also be blamed. There is no person in the world who is not blamed. Nati loke anindito. Even Buddha was blamed by some other people sometimes. Even the disciples, noble disciples of the Buddha were blamed by some other people. So, if these noble people also blamed by others, what about us? Because we do failures. We do sometimes wrong things, intentionally or unintentionally. So, there is no point of getting angry at all when someone blames at us. Think why this person has blamed me. So, when someone throws a small stone or whatever, a stick or whatever towards a dog, it bites the stone or the stick. So, we do not need to be like these animals. We need to think why this thing has happened to us. Then find a solution. If the failure is from your part, you can fix it. If it is not your own failure, then you can just ignore it, just let it go. Just think the nature of the people or the humanity. The people are so. Sometimes they blame necessarily, sometimes unnecessarily. Therefore, I do not need to upset for what the others say. So, if we are going to be upset on all the stuff that the other people say, we do not have time even to breathe. We do not have time to breathe, because all the time we get bad stuff from outside. So, early in the morning, if you get the telephone call with bad, some kinds of bad news, do not get upset. Think that this is the world nature. We cannot ignore them. We may have to face them sometimes. Or if there is a solution, you can find the solution. This is how the wise people do. So, if you think that you are an unfortunate people, this is the most stupid idea you ever had in your life. No. You are born as a human being because you are very fortunate. You are more fortunate than all the billions of animals in the world. You are more fortunate than all the uncountable number of beings in the world, other kinds of beings in the world than humans. So, you are very fortunate than even many human beings, because people have so many kinds of difficulties in the life. So, in some countries, people die due to the lack of food, due to the lack of medicine, water. So, many people starve without having water. Do you? No, you have water when you have thirsty. You can get any kind of food when you are hungry. You do not need to beg from others. You have something to live. So, why can't you be happy? Why can't you be happy? You can be happy, definitely. You can be happy. Think what you have. Do not think or do not be worried about what you do not have. I can give you a good example, a small story, practical story. One person had only one hand and he wanted to suicide because he thought, I am the most unfortunate people, I have lost one hand. So I do not need to live. I must suicide. No one looks at me, no one considers me, no one loves me. Therefore, I need to suicide now. So he went to the ocean to jump in and suicide. Okay. So as he went to the beach, he saw a person doing a dance from distance. Okay. He was like dancing. So this person went nearby. He reached this person and looked carefully what he does. Then he observed that he does not dance. He is trying to do something. This person who thought that he was most unfortunate person went towards this person and asked, what you are doing, what you are going to do, what you are trying to do. Then he explained, can't you see? I do not have both of my hands. So I am trying to scratch my back. I can't do it. So this person, the person who had one hand, only understood at this point how fortunate he was. He was more fortunate, many times more fortunate than this person who have lost both hands. So he helped this person and he told, I came to suicide here because I thought I am the most unfortunate person as I have lost one hand. But now I have understood, no, I am not unfortunate because there are people in the world who even do not have both hands. So think of yourself, why you worry, due to what reason. You may worry that your vehicle is old, but how many people are there who do not even have a vehicle? You may worry that your house is old, it's decaying, but how many people are there who do not have a roof, who do not have a house to live? You may worry that you could not do this thing or that thing. For example, you could not travel, you could not buy new clothes, you could not buy new shoes like this. But how many people are there in the world who never have shoes, who have no money for buying clothes at all? And how many people are there who live the day with one meal? Do you know it? There are people. They spend the whole day with one meal. So you are worrying about what you are going to eat tonight. See, you are a very fortunate person when you compare with other people. And some people are worrying about their illnesses. But how many people are there in the world who are blind from birth, who are deaf from birth, who have chronic diseases, who are suffering all the time? So how many people are there in the world who are in coma, who can't think properly, who can't walk, who can't get up? So this is how the world is. Be happy, be content with what you have. Do not worry about what you do not have, because all the kinds of comforts we have experienced in our past lives. The samsaric journey is very far away, a very long journey. We have experienced all the kinds of good and bad stuff in our past lives. If you are trying to become a king or the president or whoever, you have been the kings 100 or 1,000 times in the past. If you are trying to fly to the next planet, you have done it many times in your past lives. You have been born in many different solar systems in the past. If you are trying to experience the most expensive food, no, you have tried it for many times in the past. You have eaten, you have taken many different kinds of delicious food in your past lives. So even in the future, you may get many things. In the same way, you also have experienced all the kinds of bad things in the past. We don't know whether we might have been born in the hell as animals, as ghosts, and so on. We might have experienced all these kinds of things. That is why Buddhism encourages you to shorten this journey, not to be born again and again and be the samsaric journey a longer journey. No, try to shorten this journey. If you can end this up from this very life, you are the most fortunate person. If you can't do so, try to shorten this long journey of samsara, because we have experienced all the things, good and bad, comfort and discomfort, every kinds of things. Therefore, there is nothing left for us to learn. There is nothing for us to experience, enjoy, or suffer. Therefore, we have taken many experiences. Now what we only need to do is go on the path that leads to end the suffering, that leads to end this long journey of samsaric process. Long journey. So Buddha has taught us this way of ending this journey. We may need to reconsider about this thing. What we are now, what will we be in the future? This is up to you. You are now due to what you were. You will be due to what you are. So, we have got this kind of body and mind because of the good and bad karmas, good and bad things that we have done in the past. We will get good and bad stuff due to the karmas that we accumulate in this moment, in this life. Therefore, we are the people who needs to think about this, about our own future. It's not your mother or father, your brother or your sister, husband or wife or children that are going to answer about your bad and good things. It is only you. So you are responsible for what you have done. You will be responsible for what you are going to do in the future. Therefore, think about this. We cannot work like animals. We cannot behave like ghosts or whatever, whoever. We are humans. We have to consider this thing. We have to work always as we can answer to others about what we have done. Therefore, firstly, we need to concentrate on what we think. Then we need to focus on what we speak and act. So, if you can control your thoughts, you can definitely control your words and deeds. That is how it is. Because mind is the forerunner. Mind is the forerunner. No one else. It is not the Almighty God. It is not the Brahmas. It is not whoever else, Mara or whoever else. No, it is only you. It is only your mind. The mind is the forerunner. Therefore, if you can tame your mind, it brings you all the kinds of good stuff. Think. You get what you intend, what you wish. That is the nature of the universe. So if you have good thoughts and if you are going to be a moral person and then make wishes, you can succeed them. We know many people have many wishes, different wishes, but they do not lead a moral life. Therefore, their wishes do not succeed. Recently, I went to a certain religious place in a remote area where people gather. So before I went there, I did not know for what purpose people gather there, go there. But then, as I went there, I only experienced that people go there in order to take the revenge from the people who have done a kind of bad stuff, bad things to them, with the help of God, they think. Okay? So there is a certain God. So people think that this God helps them to take the revenge from their enemies. They go there, they offer a plate of fruits and necessarily money. So they offer money and fruit to the God, and then they ask the person who is there, Kapua or whoever, and from him, by him they pray the verses, and through these verses they wish all the kind of bad stuff happen to their enemies. So the meaning of these things are, these verses are like, may their legs and may they cut their legs and hands and organs, may they lose their concentration or the ability of thinking, may they be mad, may they vomit blood, may they die unfortunately, may they face accidents and all these kinds of bad stuff. So they think that these stupid people think that when they go to this God and ask him may all this bad stuff happen to these people, it would happen. So the weakness of the people, they are very weak people. Their minds are very poor minds. So can we still consider these kinds of things the culture? I don't think so. We did not have this kind of culture. So Buddhist culture is completely away from these things. So Buddha has taught us a scientific way, a logical way, that every point can be proved. So Buddha has taught us, if you think something good things happen to you. If you speak something good things happen to you. If you work in the good way, good things happen to you. For example, if you select good friends, you always can keep the peace of the mind. If you associate bad friends, you always need to struggle, you always need to face problems. If you choose an unwise partner for the life, then you have to suffer in the life. So has a God done this thing? No, you. So your choice was a bad thing. So you can say, okay, I have chosen this thing due to the wish of the God. We do not know if it is so. I don't think so, because you are a human being. You have a thinking capacity. You have a mind. You can think. You know what is good and bad. So in the case of choosing a partner, why were you blind? People say love is blind. I do not know whether it is so. However, due to any kind of unwise decision, if you have chosen the bad partner, you have to suffer. I think you are the person who has done this, not someone else. So this is how the life is. Therefore, when you are up to take a decision, think twice or three times. Do not just make the decisions at once. Think about yourself, present and future. What would happen to me? What kind of influence would this decision do to me now and in the future? And think about your surroundings, the other people, your near and dear ones. What would happen to them as a result of this decision? And then think about the outer people. What would happen to the others from this decision? Then, if you can then at the end point understand this decision would not make any harm to me or others, then only make this decision. Otherwise, please do not make this decision. So Buddha has advised us, before making a decision, think in this way. Can it harm to me? Can it harm to others? If it does something good for the others and if it does something bad to me, I do not need to take this decision. If it harms me, harms others and do the good thing to me, no, please do not do this, make this decision. If it doesn't do any harm to others and myself, then I can make this decision. That is how it is. So when we live in this society, we have to see the things wisely. It is called that appearances are deceptive. The things are not as they appear. So if you drive your car, you can see from the side mirror, there it is mentioned something, the objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So in the real life also it is similar. It is not the image that is shown from outside the reality. The reality is something else. The people are also so, in the same way. The people show us a different face. In reality, they have another face. It is so. Therefore, the most difficult person to understand is the human being. The animals are easy to understand. If they are angry with you, you can understand easily. If they are friendly with you, you can understand easily. A dog barks and comes to bite us if it is angry. But if it is friendly, then the style is something else. They do not bark on us in the same way. So we can think that, or we can understand this, that this animal is friendly. An elephant, we can understand at least up to a certain extent. A tiger, from its style, from its way, we can understand if it is going to jump at us or not. But humans, no, you can't understand. They are smiling with us, but they are hiding a weapon. Therefore, it is very difficult. So, in the case of choosing a partner too, in the case of choosing friends too, you have to be wise. Buddha explains, it is not easy to understand people. To understand people, one needs to spend some time, a long time, carefully. We call in Sinhala, ate durin tiyagannawa. So, keep the people in the distance of 1 meter or more than 1 meter is very necessary even in this time. So, in practical life, it is also so. So keep the people in the distance. Keep the distance, because if you are too close, then you can't see the reality of people. If you are too away, then also you can't see the reality of the people. Therefore, associate the people in the proper distance. Then you can understand how people are. So the people show a kind nature, hiding the anger in the minds. So an example, a story from the saying of the Buddha. Once there lived a housewife and a servant. This servant has heard this housewife was very kind person. So she needed to, this servant needed to check her housewife, this person, house owner, lady. So in the next day, she did not wash the plates and checked what the householder says. So the householder, did not blame at her, but she has looked around and was unhappy, but did not say anything. So the servant has washed the plates later. And next day she did not wake up early. She wanted to sleep more. So the householder has looked at her and let her wake up with a sound. Wake up now, wake up now. Now it is time to wake up. From this thing, the servant has understood, okay, this lady is changing now her attitudes. And in the next day, she did not want to wake up. At this point, the housewife got angry and she took a stick and hit this lady. From this lady, this servant has understood, okay, it is not her real nature that he is a kind person, she is a kind person, she is a bad person, but she has hidden this nature to the world. So this story tells us people are there who show us a different face, but in reality they are different. So what do we expect from others? We should not expect anything from others, even from your own children. Do not expect anything. If they do due respect, accept it. If they are helpful to you, if they provide you comforts, accept it. But do not specially be happy or unhappy from the care that they offer to you, because this can change at any time. The minds of people can change at any time. There was a father who has lost all the kinds of care from the children and who had to live in on the street. So Buddha accidentally met this person and asked, what has happened to you? Then he explained everything. I had 6 children. No one now lets me get inside the houses. They all have taken all my properties away, and now they let me out from the houses. So Buddha has taught him 6 verses and asked him to recite these verses or sing these verses outside when many people have gathered and when his 6 children are there. So the person has chanted or sung these verses, and in these verses the meaning was his story. I have done this and that, these and those helps to my children, these and those good things to my children, but they now let me out like an old animal, like an old dog. They let me out. So the meaning was this of the verses. So he has sung these verses at the outside on the street when many people have gathered and when the 6 children were there. So the children were very upset about this thing. They have understood we have done a great mistake, and they took this father to their houses and washed him, have given all the treatments until the end of his life. So some children are like this. So do not get upset. You have done your duties. So what do we need to expect from others? We can't expect anything from others. Whenever you get something, be happy, but if you do not get anything, please do not be unhappy. So we have to live with these 8 kinds of worldly nature. We have to face them. Sometimes we get illnesses, sometimes we get problems, sometimes we get enemies, sometimes we get blamed. This is the nature. So do not fear to the nature, do not try to escape, run out. We can't run out. Where can we remain by running out? No, there is no place. Some people are there who have difficulties, they try to run outside. No, you even can't run anything, because the world is a mixture of all the kinds of bad and good stuff. So remain where you are, think wisely, think about the world nature, think about the nature of the people, all the beings. This is how the world. What I can do is think only in the good way, do only the good thing, speak only the good words. Only by doing so I can get the good stuff. For example, in the case of weak and bad karmas that we have done in the past. We can escape them, we can jump over them by doing doing only the good things. By doing the good things, giving away, generosity, morality, meditation, learning or listening to the teaching of the Buddha, chanting, and so on. Through this good stuff, we can escape the bad things. So let us understand this worldly nature and try to lead a happy, good life. And especially we should not forget that we may need to lead a moral life, a life from what we can help others, be good people, be better people. Only through that we can face, or we can be strong enough to face all the kinds of 8 worldly nature. Buddha has given us a good example. Be like Indrakila, that does not be shaken from the wind that comes from 4 directions. So a pillar that is firmly established on the ground, as it does not move here or there. Be like this pillar. Do not tend towards positive side of this worldly nature. Do not try to escape, or do not try to fight with bad side, negative side of this worldly nature. Try to be in the middle, try to be a neutral person. Upekha, develop the equanimity, see all the stuff in the same way, see all the people in the same way, treat all the people in the same way, be a friend to your enemies and good friendly persons. In that way, you can face all the kinds of difficulties in the life. You can be a happy person in every moment in your life. I wish you, may you be succeeded in this process. May you be a happy person. May you get all the kinds of good experiences in your life. May you lead a moral life. May you finally end the suffering and achieve the bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang chirang rakkhantu desanang chirang rakkhantu tvang sada.